Okay, so next job experience of mine, I literally had to hit up Andy for like, so he could help me remember some things about
Oh,
this.
really?
Yeah.
What job was this?
I was a weed trimmer.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
okay.
so I was a weed trimmer for like 3 different people when I worked in Flagler.
People, not like businesses? So this was like an off the books job?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But it was still a job. You still got paid under the books.
I definitely got paid a good amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
I made more money doing that than I do now as a CNA.
Oh, for sure. No, because I have a boy I was talking to or whatever. He was weed trimming and then he got, I almost said upgraded. He got promoted to growing.
Yeah.
And like he was like, now I'm making like even more because
Yes.
like trimming, especially like I don't know, like business wise, like if you're trimming for like
I was making $15
like weed, like actual
an hour.
yeah, and like for actual weed shops, it's got to be more because they're making a lot of money. It's like a niche thing, not a lot of people are into it.
Yeah.
And it's skill.
Yeah.
Like you have to be skilled.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. And not just because I was a stoner, I just legitimately loved it.
It sounds like a craft.
Yes, it was. And when I worked for Eddie,
Can't wait for the horror.
Yes, when I worked for Eddie, that was like the dude that I worked for the longest. I worked for him for like 1 or 2 years, doing it just for him.
Right.
And then after that, I worked for him and Miranda and Jesse, and I did rude.
Just kidding.
I did I worked for both of them and trimmed weed for both of them and stuff like that. And then I started working for a man named Tom. Okay, so
You said that so weird, like he's the horror.
He is.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it was me, Andy, Nico.
Oh my god, I just remembered a story from Kohl's. Can I interrupt
Yes.
you? So it wasn't my Kohl's, but there was a Kohl's while I was working. It was in California, and I was working. Sorry, I just remembered this.
No,
I don't know why because it's really off topic, but we would always have good sales and stuff. So we would always our manager would always look at other Kohl's in like the globe, like in America, to see like who else has like sales and stuff, and he would like Google other Kohl's to see like news and stuff like theft or whatever. And one day the manager was Gary, rest in peace, he passed. He's such a nice guy. He was the father of our store. But he was like Googling, or somebody was Googling, pretty sure it was him because he was work obsessed and he was such a good manager. He was so good. So it probably was him, but he was Googling about other Kohl's, and a news article popped up. A news article popped up from the same day in like California of a Kohl's employee giving birth in the bathroom, killing her baby, and then going back to work.
Oh my god.
Like I can't remember like the specifications of it, not the right word, but we're going with it. But she like gave birth in the bathroom, like killed it, like tried to flush it down or didn't or something, because then another employee went in, saw it, and then was like, well, Mary's the only pregnant one.
Oh,
and then she was like back on the job, like with the belly bump too, like killed her baby. She got like arrested and like all this stuff, like on her job. Like she took a 15-minute smoke break, gave birth, killed her kid, and then went back to work.
Oh
like,
my fucking
crazy.
God.
And we were just like folding clothes, like gobsmacked, like what the hell? Like Kohl's is wild.
That's crazy as fuck.
And you used to always look up like
in California,
California, or like like Nevada, like West Coast for sure. And we would always look up like videos and like Instagrams of like we would just type in like Kohl's nightmares or Kohl's videos, and we just like watch other Kohl's customers recording it, or like employees recording customers and stuff. Oh, it was great. But so, you were trimming for Tom.
Yeah, so we were trimming for Tom, and it was me and Andy, and then Nico and Daniela, which Nico was our friend, and Daniela was his little sister.
Yes.
Daniela, I know you follow me on Instagram, so if you remember this story, go ahead and hit me up, and let's reminisce. But anyway, so we lived in Flagler, all 4 of us lived in Flagler, and he lived in Araba, which was about 10 minutes west.
Yeah.
So anyway, in Araba, there's a mansion, okay? And I'm not exaggerating. It's like a legitimate mansion.
Beverly Hills mansion.
It is super, super trashy and run down and everything and unkempt. And it was like a bar and a bed and breakfast at one point and stuff like that. Cool. And then at one point it was like apartments and whatever. Anyway, it's this huge, huge mansion, okay? And then off to the left is the carriage house, which is where the person that like owns the mansion and runs it lives there.
Okay, like the groundskeeper kind of thing.
Yes,
house,
exactly, yeah. And then there's a tunnel that goes from the carriage house to the mansion underground that you can walk through. It really is.
That sounds like an old age mansion because like you wouldn't want to go outside. You had to like they had to come do maintenance.
It was like it legit was cool as fuck. Like if it was cleaned up and everything,
you could rent that shit out for like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
probably.
and it was so fucking cool. It was and it was massive, huge.
Okay.
So anyway, Tom lived in the carriage house. And Nico at one point was living in the mansion, okay?
Okay.
And so he worked for Tom while he was living there.
Okay.
So all of us, like, me and Daniela would trim weed, and Andy and Nico would do, like, maintenance stuff for him.
Okay.
And help him out. So we would come to work, and we would go to the carriage house, and 90% of the time, we'd show up and knock on the door, and he would be in nothing but underwear. And I'm talking, like, whitey-tighties.
Gross.
And he was, like... probably like 75 years old.
Interesting.
Okay.
Good for him.
And,
I feel like at a certain age, you just don't give a fuck.
Okay, and then he'd be like, I forgot you guys were working today.
And then it's like, why'd you answer the door?
Yeah, so...
like, did you think this was the mailman? Like, how rude.
So anyway, and it was literally like on the second level of the house. You had to take a spiral staircase to get up to the front door. So we're like, you knew we were coming. You're just crazy. And he had now that I work in healthcare, I know that he had horrible dementia.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, he did coke on top of that.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah. So anyway, he was nuts, dude. So we started weed trimming for him and everything. And things started getting crazy. Oh, God. Okay, first of all, his house was a wreck. He had like 18 cats.
Animal hoarder.
I'm not even kidding. 18 cats. There was like...
You find dead ones under the couch.
We did. We found dead cats, dude. I'm not even lying.
No.
Okay, so the cats would go through the tunnel and they would just shit in the tunnel. All over. Okay, it was disgusting.
Gross.
So... he literally was so fucking crazy that he would screw nails into the doors to keep them locked so nobody could get in. Because he was like dead ass convinced that people were like out to get him and they were coming into his house and stuff.
Like almost, like maybe even schizophrenic.
Yeah, maybe. And so he was fucking crazy. So we would come to work and he would try to get us to put our phones in a Faraday box.
Oh,
do you know what
my
that
God,
is?
yeah, it's like a microwave is a Faraday cage.
Yeah.
It's just so no cell signal, no like electromagnetic waves can come through. It's just like crisscrossing wires.
Yes. So anyway, he would
and you'd be like, yeah, totally, as you like still have it on you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And anyway, he would try to do that, and Daniela every time was like, I'm not putting my fucking phone in that box, Tom. Like, Tom. It was so crazy, dude.
Oh my God.
And like, oh my God. So we would be like trimming weed, and I'm just like sitting in a chair at a table, like trimming weed, and he'd be like, hey, look at that. And he would point to the light fixture on the ceiling. Yeah. And it was one that like dangled down, and he'd be like, you see that lamp moving? And I'd be like... it's like swaying from the wind. And it's not. Like, no, it would be dead still. Oh, God. And I'd be like, no, Tom, the lamp's not moving. And he'd be like, it stopped. And I'd be like... did it? Okay. You'd be like, and then, okay. And then, like, after... how long did you work here? Like, 2 seconds. Like, okay. I was like... for just a couple months. I couldn't handle it anymore. Honestly, because that sounds wild. So, anyway, fucking... He'd be like, oh, it stopped. And then, like, 2 seconds later, he'd be like, it's moving again. Look. And I would look, dead still. And I'm like, Tom, the lamp's not moving. But there were some times that I would feed into it, and I'd be like, yeah. That's terrible. It's moving. Look at it swaying. And he'd be like, ah. He'd be like, you see it too? And I'd be like, no. Yeah, I see it too. Absolutely. And I always hated, like, being over there when I had to use the restroom. Oh, God. I would have rather... pissed outside than used his restroom. Gross. Because it was so bad. I'm shocked he even had toilet paper, but like the cats would like paw their way into the bathroom, and like there would be like 3 cats in there while you're trying to go to the bathroom. Perfect. I love cats. That sounds amazing. I hate cats. Oh no. I fucking hate them. Oh my God. But anyway, so the light moving shit, and then Andy's brother Mitchell fucking Tom convinced him to house sit for him. Yeah. So Mitchell was house sitting at the carriage house, right? and Tom was supposed to be gone doing whatever. Tom shows up in the middle of the night. Mitchell calls us while we're at home, and he's like, yo, you need to come and get me. And we're like, why? What's going on? And he's all, Tom's back in the house. He's acting all crazy.
Oh, God.
And we're like, oh, no, what's going on?
He's having a mental break.
And he's like, he's trying to get me to stay here forever. And we're like, holy fuck.
Like, kidnap you?
Basically.
Oh, my God. That sounds horrible.
I wish you could meet these people. But anyway,
oh my God.
It was so bad. He tried to get me and Andy to live there at one point. And so,
in
like...
the mansion, maybe.
Yeah, literally. Except the mansion had bed bugs. Yeah.
It was just... bomb it.
Yeah, the whole thing was just, like, crazy messy.
Interesting.
But anyway, so the screws in the doors and stuff like that, he had locks. Like, he had, like, 5 locks on every door. And then he would...
So he has to unlock and unscrew the door and he's still in his underwear? You're telling me he has to undeadbolt the door 5 times, take nails out, and he's still in his underwear? And he's like, oh, I didn't know you guys were here. Like, what the fuck? 20 minutes before you open the door, why are you still in your underwear?
No, there was a couple of times where it took him a little while to get dressed, but it wasn't to the point where we were, like, in the tunnel, basically at the entrance of the mansion underground. Yeah. But, like, he would do all of us, he'd be like, come on, everybody come with me. And all of us are, like, in this dark tunnel with him. And...
yeah, did you guys not get murdered?
Dude, I told Andy, I was like, if there's ever a moment when we fear for our safety, we are running to the gas station.
Oh, 100%.
Like, it was terrifying. And so there was, like, moments where we would, like, be underground in the tunnel, going to the mansion, and the door to the, like, tunnel that lets you into the mansion would have screws in it on both sides. So...
how? Oh, so he had to screw it on the one side, go around.
Yes. So, Andy would go on one side.
No.
Nico would go on the other side.
Yeah.
And they would just have drills.
Unscrewing the doors.
And
everybody was like, I guess. We're getting paid okay.
Yeah, we were getting paid great.
By Tom?
$18 an hour.
By Tom.
By Tom.
So Tom was like a drug dealer.
Tom had a lot of money.
Interesting.
Anyways, so me and Danielle were just like sitting on the side like... no. Like, okay. Yeah, they're like taking like 1,400 screws out of the door.
Oh
and so
God.
Like, it was horrible. And then we'd like go to the mansion. He would do something for 2 seconds. And then he would have them put the screws back in. Okay. So he had so many locks on all the doors that he had this key ring that had like so many keys on it. And I'm not even
like a janitor's key ring.
Literally like a janitor's key ring. And I'm not even exaggerating. Like we'd be there for like 30 minutes and he'd be like, nope, not that one. Nope, like a comic sketch.
Oh my God.
He'd
paint them different colors. Like paint the lock pink and paint the key pink so you can match up the colors.
Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one.
Oh my God, that sounds like hell.
It was awful. Okay, so then because he was like so convinced that there was people like trying to get into his house and stuff, he had an attic in the carriage house that he would have Nico and Andy go up in there with a heat gun. Yes, heat gun.
Yeah.
And, like, go like this around there to see if people were up there because not
Why
only...
a heat gun?
Not only...
oh, like a thermal camera gun?
Yes.
I thought, because there's, like, a heat gun that, like, you can use to, like, melt stuff.
No. I'm talking about,
like a good hairdryer. Like a thermal camera gun.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, he fucking gave them one of those... so that he could, like, Andy and Nico could go up there, because not only was he like, oh, the light's moving, he'd be like, shh, do you hear that? There are people in the attic.
Oh my God.
There are people in the attic, and he would it would go one to two ways. He would have them go up there, or he would go up there and look around and see if there was people up there, and he would, like, go up there in the attic, and he'd be like, who's up here?
And I mean, every once in a while, there probably were teenagers up there.
No, there was no way they could get in the house because of all the fucking screws and locks.
Got a point.
There was absolutely no way that they could get up there. And so it would either go that way, or he would immediately go get a drill gun and screws and screw the attic door shut.
Trap him in. Oh my God.
Okay, so then in like when you walk up the spiral staircase, you go in the house, it's his room.
Yeah.
Right there. Okay?
Right.
And then there's a closet to the right, and he would keep weed in that closet to the right. And one time he was dead ass convinced, this was before we started working for him, he was like dead ass convinced that that there was a person in that closet. So he screwed the doors shut, okay, called the cops. The cops
unscrew the door, find bushels of weed, and they're like,
literally. And he's like, they must have got out somehow. And like,
the cops are just like,
it was wild, dude. So then, he was working with me and Andy one day, and there was like a field, because it's basically kind of in the middle of nowhere, really.
Yeah.
And so we were in the carriage house, and we were standing on the porch, and there was like this field off to the right of the carriage house, and he was like, "You guys come here." And we're like, "Oh God, what's it gonna be now?"
Right.
And so we fucking go over there, and he's like, "You see that man over there?" And me and Andy are like, "Huh? What?"
Right.
As we both have like glasses.
Like,
like maybe he is seeing something. So anyway, we're like, no, we don't see that dude, Tom. And he's like, "The Attorney General is right out there."
The commercials.
He straight up was like, "The Attorney General is out there," and we'd be like, "No, there's not, Tom." And he'd be like, "Come on, let's go." And we'd literally go stand in a field while he looked around for somebody that wasn't there.
That's hilarious. That's sad though.
It was sad. And then like one time,
And when you quit, did he have like a mental break?
he had a mental break like the day that we quit, because
you guys were sick of it.
yeah, because like he was acting all crazy and wild, and then like these people showed up, and they were like, "Tom, these people are taking advantage of you.
Oh my God.
And you don't realize it. You need to come with us so that we can like get you showered up and get you fed and stuff like that," because he wouldn't eat ever.
Because he was crazy.
He was crazy,
Yeah.
dude. And then, okay, so this is funny, okay? So, me and Andy and Nico and Mitchell and, like, everybody was hanging out at our house, because we always hung out at our house and, like, smoked pot there, right?
Right.
Somehow he found our address.
Oh, Tom?
Tom.
How exciting.
Tom found our address.
On your W-2, maybe.
Completely legal. So anyway, he's knocking on our door.
Maybe he might have just followed you home.
Probably.
Probably multiple times.
Multiple times. He was crazy, and he should not have had a license.
True.
Even
He also should have gotten arrested for all that drugs, but whatever. So he came to your house.
He came to our house. He's knocking on the door, and we look out the window, and we're like, "Holy fuck! What the fuck is Tom doing here?" He comes in, and he's all, "I need to use your bathroom." And
How far away?
10 miles.
Okay. I'm wondering if he like got there and realized he had to go to the bathroom, or he had like a break and was like, "I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go find Joslyn and Andy's place."
He didn't even remember our names, dog.
It's hilarious.
So anyway, he comes in the house and he's like, "I need to use your bathroom," and we're like,
I guess.
"Okay, Tom, bathroom's back there." We literally, like, he was in there for like 15 minutes, and we were like, "The fuck is he doing in there?
Yeah.
Is he like good in there? Like, is everything okay?" He comes out and he's all, "Thanks, guys," and leaves.
How exciting.
Okay, so then
Okay.
we go into the bathroom. Water everywhere.
Like shower water, toilet water.
We don't know.
There was just water. Nothing was on.
Nothing was on.
Interesting.
There was water everywhere. There was dirt everywhere. In the tub, there was dirt in the tub, like as if he was like standing in there.
Okay.
Okay. And as he's walking out, because like, so Andy was talking to him as he was walking out.
Yeah.
And I went in the bathroom to look.
Because you were like, "I can't wait."
No, I can't. I went in there to look, and I was like, "Tom, what were you doing in the bathroom?" And he was like, "I was washing my money." And we were like, "That's not how you launder it." But
That's not how you launder money. First up.
good try, though.
Second
But
off,
yeah,
what?
it was fucking crazy, dude. And like,
He sounded like he needed some help.
he really needed some
my
help. Now that I'm
God.
in healthcare, I know that he had like serious dementia.
Delusions, maybe even a little bit of schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Definitely delirious.
Yes, and it was like wild. It was
Okay.
crazy.
This is definitely gonna have to be split into 2 parts.
Why?
It's an hour long, and I still wanna talk.
So just do yours, and it'll be a longer episode.
Yeah, we might have to split it. I don't know, because when I tried to upload the last one, it like wouldn't. It was really difficult. Whatever. So this might be the last story. We'll see if we need to split it, because we can keep talking, of course. But I used to work at an overnight pet hotel, because when you're talking about the cats, I remembered some stories from that. Not so much horror, more like internal fear. So I work there. Most of the time, it was like what? Like PetSmart and Petco are like, they close at like 9, 10, and open back up at like 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I think it was 11-hour shifts, I think. 11 or 8-hour shifts, I can't remember, but whatever. It was too much time for how much how much job they gave us. So like we had to like walk the dogs, we had to feed them in the morning, and we had to like clean the facility. But like all we had to do was like sweep fur, mop it, like floor buffer it, and then walk the dogs and then feed them. But
Around like how many dogs?
Like if there were more than like a certain amount, there'd be 2 people.
Okay.
So I think it was like under 50 was 1 person, and then more than 50 was like 2 or something.
What the fuck?
But usually they were like good dogs for the most part. Like we wouldn't accept like bad dogs or a lot of bad dogs, but it wasn't too bad. I think that might be exaggerating because it's been a while, but like over a certain amount there'd be 2 people. But like most of the time it was just 1 person. But like so we just had to sweep, mop, walk the dogs at like 5 a.m. because by the time you were done you fed them and then the morning people came in. So most of the time I would sleep from like whatever until like midnight, and then I'd start working. Or I would like go in and play with the dogs. Like I would open the cages and like sit in the dogs, or I'd go to the cat room, play with all the cats. And like there was like cages, kennels, and then there were like suites. And the suites were like glass doors with like tile walls for like private dogs who like don't like other dogs or whatever. And there'd be a little TV, like a little limousine TV in the top corner, and it would play dog movies. 24/7, like Snow Dogs, 101 Dalmatians, like
that's so cute.
Yeah, like all dog movies just on repeat, on loop, all night, all day. And it was amazing, but it was awful because you could hear, and it was the same movie, so you could hear it like ominously in the background. But it was pretty nice. Some dogs were like insane, of course, and would just bark all night. But then I'd open like our little staff door and be like, "Shut up!" And then they'd go quiet.
Yeah.
And then one dog would be like, "Achoo." And then they'd be like, like all night. And I would turn off the lights to make them sleep. It was amazing. It was an amazing job. So I had one horror story where it was like 4th of July or like one kind of like smaller holiday, not like Christmas or like New Year's or whatever. So it was like a smaller, like Labor Day. And we were supposed to have 2 people over that night because there were so many dogs, but I didn't know that. So I did some cleaning. I fell asleep, like didn't set my alarm, woke up because when you're in the back of the hotel, the front hotel door has a like a
dinger or something.
Yeah, like a gateway. So when somebody walked through there at like 6 a.m., it ding-donged, woke me up, and I was like, oh my god, I haven't done anything but clean. Like I didn't start walking the dogs. So like before they could even get into the back, I was like letting dogs out to like walk them and stuff, like in the little like play area or whatever. And like it was like the strict one too. She like came in and was like, what's going on? Have you not finished walking dogs? I was like, no, there's just so many. I was so overwhelmed. And she was like, where's the other person? And I was like, what do you mean? Like not knowing, still terrified. And she's like, where's the other person? And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, there's supposed to be 2 of you. No wonder you're so behind. And then she like called behind her and was like, Ashley, there's only 1 person. He's so behind. And they were like, oh my God, that's messed up. Sorry, Matt. And I was like off the hook. And I was like, oh my God. Jesus is looking out for me, because I was fucked.
You're freaking out.
I hadn't done like jack shit. Because I mean, there was not too much to do. Like I just didn't walk the dogs and feed them yet. But since they were supposed to be like, it happened on the best day. They're like, there's supposed to be another person. No wonder. Because like, I mean, if I was cleaning and like walking the dogs and then walking the dogs and then like prepping all the food, I would have been behind anyways. Like if I was doing it on time.
Right.
Because there were so many dogs. But the fact that I fell asleep and then woke up late, they still assumed, and I was like, oh my God, thank God. I was
You're
like, so
oh wow,
right.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
Literally. And there was like, and dogs would die all the time, of course, super sad. Not all the time, but like
just as often as they do in our work right now.
I would say less often, but yeah, like right now, yeah. But like they wouldn't die like on shift, usually during the day, because they'd be like playing and have like a heart attack. And usually puppy mill dogs, which is super sad. Yeah, that was the only dogs that would die, or from old age. There was one dog, Curtis, with 2 S's. He was a Great Dane, and he was a grandpa. Oh. He was so old, so big. Like, I wouldn't walk him on a leash because he was so well trained. So I would just like let him out and I'd be like, okay, Curtis, let's go. And like he would walk like a freaking giraffe, like go over there, take like elephant-sized poops. Like you'd have to pick it up, and like, what do you think we would do? With the shovel? Yes, it was like a pooper scooper, but we had like shovels too. What do you think we did with the poop? Because, like, we had, like, you've been inside, like, a PetSmart at Petco where they have, like, the indoor, like, dog training, like, runs with, like, little play crap. Where do we think the poop goes?
I would say you have a special trash can for it.
We flush it down the toilet. There was a toilet that didn't have, like, it was, like, a extra, like, flush or whatever. So, like, the top was off, the seat was off, and you would just flush it.
Oh,
and I don't know, like... I mean, I assume it's at, like, a good, reputable store. Like, it's not, like, that's back, like, black, shady deals. But, like, a toilet for dog poop, and you'd flush that, like, every 10 minutes. And then we just, like, mop, and then you'd have to, like, spray down, because it was, like, a hose from the ceiling. You'd have to spray down all this poop and, like, pee down the drains or whatever. And then you'd have to, like, scrub it, spray down, like, a, like, car wash kind of thing, and then, like, scrub it or whatever. And, like, I mean, yeah, and then you'd have to go into, like, really furry dogs, like Great Pyreneeses or, like, fluffy Pomeranians. Like, you'd have to go in there at night and, like, brush and, like, clean the cage and stuff and, like, spray them down. And we had to, like, clean when somebody got discharged out of the hotel. We had to, like, spray and clean it down or whatever. And I just remembered another horror story. So I was working overnight, and this was when I was with my ex-husband. And, like, this isn't, like, pertinent, but whatever. I was wearing, like, a hoodie and, like, pants because fuck that. I'm not gonna have pee spray on me. And it was cold. But, like, dogs sleep when it's cold. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're, like, on a car ride, it's better to have it freezing cold, like AC blasting with the windows up, than have it hot so the dog's more comfortable. But I was like, this is bad for doggies. They need blankets.
Yeah.
But, like, apparently that's, like, the thing. Like, that's correct. So it was, like, freezing cold in there. Not, like, freezing cold, but, like, I'm a pussy. So I had, like, a hoodie on, like, a big oversized hoodie with, like cargo pants because I was with my ex-husband. And, like, I had my phone in my hoodie, like, connected to my earphones. And I was just, like, mopping, like, letting the dogs out, like, singing and shit. Like, just, like, letting them play and stuff. And, like, I go to, like, dip the mop. And I go to, like, like, compress all the water out. And I'm, like, leaning forward doing that. And my phone slips out into the mop bucket. And this is, like, third or fourth dog walk. So that mop bucket is shit brown pee.
Ew.
And, like, it goes splash. My headphones snap off. My headphones fall on the floor because, like, it was just luck. Yeah. But, like, I had, like, split second and I just hands into the mop water.
Ew.
What was I gonna do? It was, like, an iPhone, like, 7.
Oh, no.
And, like, it was the middle of the night. It was, like, 2 a.m. And, like, my phone snaps, falls into there. Like, no OtterBox. There's, like, a case, but not, like, a waterproof case. And, like, I was like, oh, my God, I have to get my phone. So both hand plunges into the mop water. Poop, pee. I pull out my phone. It's, like, glitching a little bit. And I was like, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. I don't have any rice. I don't have anything.
I don't have any rice.
I don't have anything. So I was like, oh, my God. So I pull, and, like, I thank God I was doing laundry that night, too. So I pulled, like, hot laundry out of the laundry, and I, like, cover my phone and, like, shake it and, like, spin it, trying to get water out. And just through the night, the phone kept getting more corrupted. Like, it got that black mark. Oh, the water was, like, seeping in. I couldn't touch the screen anymore. I was fucked, and it was so gross. I was fucked, and it was so traumatic.
How many times did you wash your hands?
I washed my hands so much. So many times. I took off the hoodie. Thank God I was wearing a shirt underneath, because I wouldn't have put that shit back on. It was, like, soaked up to the elbows.
Did you just throw it away?
I think I put it in a trash bag and, like, washed it there. Yeah, I washed it there because they had, like, a huge, like, industrial, like, washer and dryer. You just, like, click buttons to switch it. It was fancy. But both hands straight into the piss poop water. Oh my God, it was so bad. Oh my God. And some dogs had, like, red, like, they're like, oh, these are bad dogs. It's a pit bull or whatever. And, like, PetSmart and Petco are racist. I know that. Mm-hmm. Because, like, if a pit bull, boxer, what are the other dangerous ones? Pit bull, boxer,
Rottweiler, maybe?
Rottweiler.
German Shepherd?
No, the other one. The, like, German Pinschers.
Oh,
and
Dobermans?
Dobermans. And, German Shepherds, the brown ones or whatever. Those were all, like, marked as angry dogs. Oh. Like, no matter what they were. Just because of their...
it was their breed.
Yep, exactly. So they were racist towards dogs. But, like... we wouldn't accept them if they had anger issues. Like, even if there was a little Jack Russell Terrier who bit everybody, we wouldn't accept it because then you can, like, individually walk them or whatever, but then that's dangerous to the workers, so we wouldn't even accept it. So they were just put on red because they were like boxers or Rottweilers. But I would go into their like kennels and cages and I would just sit with them and like hang out. And they would always want to because sometimes like they're on a hotel rather because like their parents are on vacation or they're military. A lot of people, like there was this one woman, she wouldn't like get deployed, but she would get stationed to work somewhere for like a month and a half and put her dog in the hotel because she didn't have any family. She was like deployed to another state. She didn't have anybody she'd trust, so we would like baby the hell out of those dogs.
Yeah.
And there was one dog, like Scooter, I think. It was like, it looked like a white fox dog.
Yeah.
And Scooter was the most hyper dog in the world. Like, you would open the kennel and then, like, immediately, like, seizing because of how excited. Like, tail's going insane, and you'd, like, sit on the floor, and he would, like, seize into your lap and then just, like, shake because he's so excited.
Oh, my God.
And he was so precious. And if you let him out of the cage without his leash on, impossible. There was, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of, like, kennels. And then it's like there's like at least like this much distance, at least like half an arm span. I would say like 3/4 of an arm's width, so you could probably touch both kennels walking down the rails like 5 times. And then there was like kennels on the side. So if you let a dog out and it didn't have a leash, you could not catch that dog.
Oh no!
You couldn't catch it.
You had to have like another person.
No, you would have to like fucking just wait. Half the time, I would just wait. I would just like fuck it. Like whatever, and I would like open like the doors to the playrooms, open like the staff door, and then open their kennel door, and then just like wait for it to go into one of them, and then like shut the door and trap it, and then get a leash on, because they would just want to run. It was in the middle of the night. They've been in a cage probably since like 5 or 6, like because that's like the last playtime. And then like I open it up at midnight and they're like, oh my God, I'm ready to go. And like a lot of dogs don't like to poop and pee where they like are laying.
Oh yeah,
like they won't,
super common.
yeah, they won't ruin their like area. So when they're in the kennel, usually they are like holding it in.
Yeah, because
so
like
then
if
they're
Indica potties in the house, she like does it downstairs.
Exactly, she won't do it near where she's sleeping or where she likes to like lay and stuff. So like they're in like a 4 by like 6 or something like that, depending on like the dog size. But they wouldn't want to poop or pee there, so they'd be like hyped up on freaking piss, and then they would just run and run and run and run, and they wouldn't be able to find somewhere to go because like nothing smells like dog pee because we like clean it. Mm-hmm. So like nobody can like territorize like a certain area, so you have to like deodorize it so they wouldn't know where to pee because nothing smells like pee, and they'd just be running around going insane. And then usually they'd circle back to their cage and smell themselves and then go in, and I'd be like, ha, psych, and I'm like, bad dog. And I heard nobody else would go into the cats. I would always go into the little cat cages, and there would be like 6 because cats, like nobody puts cats in hotels. They're so self-sufficient. Yeah, they just rip a bag of food open and just leave it while they go on vacation for 6 months.
And just leave like a litter, like clean the litter box or leave 2 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like leave the tap water dripping.
Exactly,
and, like,
or something. Yeah, or like a fountain, like with a water cooler on top. Yeah, cats will live. But I would always go in there, and there was like this brother and sister or whatever, and I can't remember their names. It was like Sun and Moon or some hippie shit. But I would let them out, and then I would, because their cage room was like I would say is like twice as big as my bathroom, so like not too big, the average size bathroom, but like twice as big as an average size bathroom. And like there'd be all the cages on one side, but then like they wouldn't have anywhere to like run around and play, so I'd open up the hallway, which was like behind the hotel and in between the dog cages and then the staff bathroom or whatever, so they could like jump and play and shit. And they would always go towards the door dog or the dog with the doors on it and just like look at the like the wall, but they wouldn't, or the door, and they would like smell and know that dogs are behind it, and they would just like sit there like literally just staring at the wall and the door because they were like, dogs are behind there.
Whoa.
And it was weird because they could probably hear it and smell it, and the pheromones are probably like absorbed into that way.
Yeah.
Or they could just hear the noise and they knew it's got to be that door because cats aren't stupid, but they would just sit there and stare at the dog door.
That's crazy.
And I was like, maybe they have like dogs, but they were so cute, and I loved cats, and I would let them like scratch and play, and they would have little kitty toys and shit, like laser pointers. I would play with the cats for like hours because I heard nobody would play with them because not a lot of people like cats.
So it's not that I hate cats, it's just I don't like the idea of cleaning out a litter box.
But you pick up your dog's... Wait, you don't pick up your dog's poop?
I do now. Because I got reported to the HOA.
Literally. But I mean, yeah, that's kind of like the worst part of cats is the fact that you have to like scoop up their deserts and stuff. Yeah, that is kind of terrible. But they're so cute and they like do their own thing.
However, my brother and my sister-in-law had 2 cats. They had a cat named Sparkplug. He was completely gray. Like bright.
Like steel gray?
Yes, he was beautiful with like white eyes.
Oh my god.
He was
beautiful.
Beautiful. And he was so much fun and he would like bat my hair and stuff like that. And he was so cute. And then they had a cat. They got another cat later on and he was like a tiny little orange striped cat. And he was like this big.
That's small.
And he like stayed that big too. He was tiny.
It's weird.
He was super skinny. He like maybe got to like that big.
Maybe he got like stunted when he was a baby.
I think he was the runt of the litter.
Yeah.
But he was like super tiny and super sweet. And my sister lived with them at the time. And she would like walk into her room in the closet and he'd just be chilling in her socks.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's so cute.
Those are the 2 cats that I absolutely love. But if I were to get a cat, which I've thought about it before, if I were to get a cat, I would get an all black cat.
Oh, 100%.
Because those cats...
What are you going to wear?
Yeah.
If you get a white cat or a gray cat, there's going to be cat hair all over you.
But not only that, is people don't adopt black cats.
Because they think they're haunted and spooky and stuff.
Superstitious.
Yeah, which is stupid. It's a cat.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll adopt it for its spookiness.
Yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah. Like, all the cats that we accepted, there was like a couple that were like a little like rude and sassy, but most of them are like super lovey.
Yeah.
Like, you would let them out and they would like rub against your legs. They would want to like cuddle and like play and pet. And I was like, where are all these cats in my life? Because like every cat that I go over to like a friend's house, they're like assholes or they like hide away. But I feel like they knew they were in like a hotel. They knew they were going to have strangers and stuff. So they were like super nice, but love that place. The only horror story was, I woke up super late because I was lazy. But when we did have 2 people, we would like watch movies and like talk all night and then we'd get everything done. But when we did have 2 people, there'd be like a billion dogs.
Yeah.
So it'd be so much work.
That's
but like
crazy.
flushing that shit down the toilet was hilarious.
That's so strange to
I
me.
know. I thought that was weird too. But I mean, whatever.
You're like, maybe that's not how we're supposed to do it.
I don't know. I mean, it's a legit business. Like Petco, PetSmart, they both do it, I hear, at their pet hotels. And like, that's just how it's done. I mean, I would assume like if it was like a doggy day camp and there was like an outside, I would assume it would be like a dumpster or like a trash bag because like it's outside. But like, since it was an indoor place, like I assume. Oh my God, there was also this one woman who would, when she would only do it for like a weekend, but she would buy her dog like a rotisserie chicken.
What?
Yes, and then we'd have to keep it in like the tiny like dorm room fridge. So it's like, where are we gonna keep it?
Yeah.
So we'd have to keep it, and then she'd be like, "Oh, just cut off like a lump, and like like shred it and give it to the dog, and that's what she eats." And I was like, "That's what she eats." Rotisserie chickens. Like, I was wondering if that's what she ate like on the time. Like, I hopefully she would prepare it, like if that's what the dog ate, like hopefully she would prepare it. But that dog needs other stuff than just chicken.
Yeah, dude,
like,
there are people out there that straight up just feed their dogs like chicken and rice. They don't feed them dog food.
Well, I mean, that's good, but like they need like vegetables and like other like, because you're not going to get every like amino acid and stuff from chicken and rice. You need to get other stuff.
Yeah. And
that's why like good dog food, like raw dog food or whatever, is like a mix of like grains and like oats and like corn and stuff. But another woman, it would be wet dog food, dry dog food, pumpkin puree, and we would have to sprinkle a teaspoon of MSG on top.
Okay.
Like monosodium glutamate. Literally phytosodium glutamate. It's monosodium glutamate. It's MSG. It's to make things taste more meaty, like umami. So usually like people put it in like Asian food, like orange chicken and stuff, to make it more umami, which is like the meat receptor. So that's what it is. Dude, so I would never do it because I'm like, I don't want to give these dog chemicals, but I was like, I'll give it pumpkin puree, wet and dry food, waste all my time.
When I was with Zeke, he would feed his dog like a giant bowl. He ate twice a day, and he would do dry dog food, a half a can of wet dog food, an egg with the shell, and fish oil pills.
Oh my God.
And he would like take a spoon that like you have eaten ice cream and soup with.
Yeah.
Stir it up.
Yeah.
And just put it in the dishwasher.
Ooh.
red flag.
Red flag, because that's not going to get cleaned enough.
No.
Oh, we also had a dishwasher because, yeah, we'd have to give those people bowls. And the dishwasher was just an average size dishwasher. It was just more like industrial. But I'd have to run that thing like 20 times to clean all the bowls. Because some dogs, like, their bowls would be like...
huge.
Like a popcorn bowl size.
Yeah.
And it's like that, only like 2 of those fit in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And then like the little like chihuahuas, there's like 100 in the top or whatever. Also, there was an ice cream machine.
That's awesome.
It was like not like legit ice cream. It was like water milk powder or whatever. So it was like, it was just like a like McFlurry mix or whatever kind of thing. But like you would give it to dogs during the day, like their parents, yeah, that's what we call it. No.
Their owners?
No, like it was like a thing. Do you know how like when you work at like a department store, they're like, these aren't customers, they're family members, or they're associates, or they're like some bull crap. So they had like something, it was like, yeah, like the parents, like which I mean isn't weird, but I feel like it wasn't that, or it was weirder. Like mom and dad, we'd call them as weird. But like their parents would pay for it like as a treat, like midday to like hyping them up. I would eat it all the time.
You would eat it?
Yeah, because we'd have to clean like the ice cream.
But
it was like it was literally ice cream.
Oh, okay.
It was like people always talked about it being like a Chinese buffet ice cream, where it was just frozen water
soft
milk.
serve.
Yeah, so it's just like frozen water milk, and it was a soft serve machine, and you would just pour like liquid cream.
It's like a bag, right?
Yeah, it was like a jelly bag, and you'd pour the cream in, and then you'd pour like hot water in it or whatever, and then it would just like...
They have those at McDonald's.
Yeah, pretty much, but just like it was like less milk product, more fake milk product.
Yeah.
But it like you would add it to coffee, it would be great creamer, a middle of the night snack, but then we'd have to clean it like weekly. Pain in the ass. You basically have to take it out, dump all the ice cream out, like the tray, like ugh, it was so gross. But it was so crazy that they had an ice cream machine.
Yeah,
in this pet hotel and
we should
this
for sure
dishwasher.
make this into 2 parts because we should now talk about job nightmares where we work now.
I think that's all about PetSmart. Where else did I work? I worked at a hardware store. I just don't want to keep saying names. I worked at a hardware store, and that wasn't really horror, but I used to work in the paint department, and like straight 40-year-old men would come up to me and ask me about stain in paint. And like I just had training, like every job has training and stuff. And they'd be like, what stain's good for maple? And like I would literally have to like flip through my thing and be like, oh, this one, like this finish and stuff. And they'd be like, oh, thank you, sir. Like gay as shit, like how I sound now or whatever. But they'd be like, what's stain? But like I would know everything about paint. Like, you want a satin finish? You want a high gloss? You want a matte? Do you have kids? This color, that color, this finish, this brand. But like stain and like glue and like caulk and stuff, no idea. It was so hard. I never blew up a paint can. Have you seen all those TikToks on?
But I've seen the TikToks where people are making like
where like they put the thing over and it's like grrr, and then they shake it and then like dip it or whatever. So sometimes they shake them like 2 plates compress on the paint can and like shake it up and down. But some you like put in like a drum and it spins it and you have to like close the door for it to start and then you open it and it stops. I never blew up one, thank God, because you have to like hammer it down, and I was terrified of doing it, so I'd always hammer it a lot. Because if you put it in, it's slightly open, blows up. There's paint everywhere. You have to clean it up.
Yep.
Terrible. And I never did that. I loved making paint because the colors are so pretty and stuff. But there was one time, people stole crap constantly. I just never noticed. But people stole crap from my department constantly. But there was one time we spilled concrete etching.
Oh no.
Like on the floor, like you know what that is? Where like you need to pour it down in like your garage before you like coat it in like resin or whatever. So me and another coworker, we were like picking them up and like loading them, and he like dumped one over and it like punctured the side and it started to spill out all over like the hardware store, and every hardware store is just like clean like concrete or whatever, and it spilled out, and then we had to pour like baking soda on it. We had to pour this other neutralizing chemical on it. We had to wait 20 minutes, sweep it up, and then pour more and stuff. And when we finished, it was like a pothole.
Oh no.
It was so bad. And like, because it's like glossy, like just normal glossy material, when you hit that spot, it was like dry cement. So when you hit it, you would always trip.
Oh,
so
God.
People would always trip going down that aisle because they were just walking like normal grip, used to the grip, and then they'd hit like something that has so much friction, and they'd be like, ugh, and like stop and have to grab onto the thing. It was so bad. It was so funny.
You probably were like, oh, oops, that was me.
Oops, so sorry. Basically. Not a lot of hot guys work there. Working at a hardware store, I was very sad about that. Like, I thought like Because I mean, like, masculine dudes working at, like, Home Depot and, like, Lowe's and stuff. Like, there was, like, 4 or 5, but that store was massive.
Dude, those stores are
And
huge.
that's where I met the guy from Dutch Bros, Andy.
Oh,
He used to work in flooring.
Dope. He looks like he would work there.
Yeah, right? I don't know what he's doing with his life now.
Anyways, I think we're going to wrap it up.
Oh, yeah, it's almost
like,
been 2 hours.
Literally 2 hours. So we'll probably put this in 2 parts. I
Yeah.
think. You want to upload them at the same time?
Probably.
I
Might
think
as
so
well,
too, yeah.
back to back. And it's Tuesday today, so give us maybe, we stick to the schedule for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it was my birthday this weekend. We really couldn't record like we normally do. But hopefully we'll catch back on track. Maybe we'll upload this on like Thursday in 2 days. And then maybe we'll record this weekend and then upload on Tuesday. Because we really want to try to keep a consistent recording schedule. Like every Tuesday or like every week and stuff like that. Just to keep it consistent. So hopefully we can get this uploaded by Thursday. And we'll upload both parts so that you guys can enjoy probably like 50 minutes of each-ish part. And then we'll hopefully record this weekend so we can upload next Tuesday. And we have so many topics to go through, but if you have any topic suggestions for us, leave a comment.
Yes, please do that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about topics that you guys specifically want to hear.
Yeah, or bring up things that you want to talk about, like, yeah, topics and, like, point of views and opinions. Give us your opinions on our topics and stuff. Yes, leave comments. Tell us what you guys want to hear from us.
Yes.
But
we've got a whole 17 subscribers.
Correct, 17 subscribers. We have comments. Some. But we have a lot of we have a lot of input from people saying we're very funny. We have good back and forth. So I'm hoping just as we go on, we'll have better topics to talk about. We'll have more like funny jokes. We'll have guests and stuff.
Yes.
I'm waiting for our round table talks where we have like maybe one of my friends, one of your friends, and we like put the mic in the middle and then we just talk between like 4 or 5 of us.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to grow, evolve. Hopefully we're going to have so many different aspects of this podcast. So if you have any comments or suggestions, comment below. But thank you all for your input.
I think that's it.
I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening, tuning in. Hope to see you guys next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.